With the shadow friends and the scion of the deep slain at the entrance of Skyhorn Lighthouse, the company chose not to press blindly onward without recuperating first. Knowing rest would be impossible if danger remained nearby them, they resolved to clear the lighthouse entirely before attempting to recover. At the top of the spiraling stair, they found a locked and barricaded door. Beyond it waited Lucian Skyhorn, Knight of House Skyhorn, and Keeper of the Lamp. Gaunt, weary, and armed more by duty than strength, Lucian had sealed himself into the lamp room, resolved to hold the light as long as breath remained in him. After tense words and careful assurances, the company convinced him they were not servants of the deep. Fully persuaded that the light itself had sent them, Lucian opened the door and welcomed them as allies. Lucien revealed the true nature of his charge. His duty was not only to tend the great lamp, but to guard an ancient artifact, sealed beneath Skyhorn Island in a hidden cavern, the Nanwo Rovaya, a relic capable of commanding the sea itself when bound through forgotten rites. Only a descendant of House Skyhorn could free it from its icy prison, and Lucian had sworn his life to ensuring it never fell into the wrong hands. When the company told him that his son, Eric Skyhorn, had come to the island seeking to save him, Lucian's resolve hardened further. He joined them without hesitation. Together, they secured the lighthouse. Guthrie set about repairing the shattered hinges of the main door with practiced care, undoing the damage of Ravenna's earlier breach. A heavy bronze anchor was wedged into place to seal the trapdoor below, denying the enemy access from the caverns. With defenses reinforced, the company attempted to rest, knowing the reprieve would be brief. Their fears proved justified. During Ravenna and Lucian's watch, 4 shadow friends smashed through the main door, while others strained futilely against the anchored trapdoor. The company sprang to arms, driving back the attackers in a brutal but swift skirmish. Lady Naja, deep in her elven trance, bore silent witness as the shadows fell. A captured cultist, combined with Lucian's knowledge of the rites below, revealed a grim truth. The enemy would need some time before another water elemental could be summoned. There was a narrow window to gather strength. This is why the enemy would not let them rest. When the shadows returned during Guthrie and Naja's watch, they found no purchase. With preternatural speed, Guthrie opened the door, struck down a shadow friend, and dragged him inside before a single sleeper stirred. After that, the enemy withdrew. The company completed a short rest at last. Knowing time was running out, preparations were swift. Lady Naja called down Pelor's blessing upon the company, bathing them in divine resolve. Lucian Skyhorn addressed them with a knight's clarity and conviction, reminding them that they stood not as invaders, but as wardens of the light. With that, he gave the order, and he and Guthrie plunged through the trapdoor together. They fell into briny darkness. Guthrie called upon his strengthened bond to the light, illuminating the submerged cavern in a radiant glow. The company swam to a nearby stony shore and found an ancient door sealed tight. From beyond it came faint moans, suffering, despair. Lucian produced old brass keys, and the company braced themselves. The door flew open to reveal not monsters and cultists, but nearly 24 sailors chained to the floor, broken, starving, and barely alive. A lone man appearing to be another cultist was bound in chains to the far wall. As Guthrie stepped forward to investigate, a whisper slithered through the chamber, emanating from the chained man.
"Kill the woman."
The company noticed a miserable, middle-aged woman among the sailors. As Guthrie approached, the truth struck him with chilling clarity. This was no woman, but a creature wholly devoted to the shadow. Without hesitation, he unleashed the light. The illusion shattered. The figure stretched and twisted into a towering sea hag, bloated and monstrous, as though dredged from the deepest ocean trench. Jethro, nearly paralyzed by terror, forced himself to act through sheer maverick resolve and fired point blank, blasting a gaping hole through the hag's chest. Ravenna and Lady Narja, stricken by supernatural dread, withdrew behind cover as Narja called upon Pelor to shield her battle sister. The sea hag screamed, not in pain, but in rage. Jethro recognized the cry as a rallying call, just as the creature retaliated, raking him with massive claws. Lucian answered with his own shout, bolstering the company and charging forward, only for the hag to leap past him in blind fury toward Lady Narja. When the hag saw Narja and Ravenna standing together, she hissed,
I know the best way to hurt you, light witch.
Fixing Ravenna with a deathly glare, she nearly tore her soul free from her body. Ravenna collapsed, barely clinging to life. The tide turned in an instant. Lucian and Lady Narja unleashed righteous vengeance, and it was Narja who struck the final blow, flooding the hag with such overwhelming light that her body shriveled and burned to charred bones, which sank into the dark waters below. Lucian dove after them, ensuring the threat was ended. Elsewhere, Guthrie and Jethro heard enemies approaching and chose not to wait. Bursting through another door, they charged into a ritual chamber where a second scion of the deep loomed over nearly a dozen cultists. One tortured sailor was being forced to complete the summoning of the water elemental. With the ritual nearing completion, Guthrie darted through the room, cutting down the cultist directing the rite. But the sailor, broken by fear, continued chanting despite being freed. Surrounded and out of time, Jethro made the hardest decision of the night. With a single shot, he killed the sailor, ending the ritual and preventing the elemental's summoning. The guilt cut deep, but survival demanded it. Ravenna shifted into her full beast form and tore into the fray. Lady Narja moved among the prisoners, restoring hope and breaking chains with her sickle, freeing 4 sailors and calling out for Dameron Eldath. The cloaked figure chained to the wall drew silent glances in response. The battle escalated toward disaster. The Scion of the Deep wielded a magical great axe that cut through Ravenna's resilience, nearly killing her. Both Ravenna and Guthrie would have fallen if not for the freed sailors, one of whom gave his life to save them, and Narja's unyielding divine aid. Drawing on hard-earned battlefield techniques taught by that two-timing Nikos, Jethro coordinated the final assault. Guthrie struck the killing blow, shattering his staff as the Scion fell. With that, the cavern fell silent. Shadow friends lay dead, the rites incomplete, and the surviving sailors were free. Lady Narja then released the cloaked prisoner. He confirmed himself as Dameron Eldath and demanded a private audience. Wary, Narja alerted the company, which caused him to storm away. Narja pursued Dameron up the ladder, through the trap door, and back into the lighthouse. Dameron killed a restrained shadow friend, ascended to the lamp room, and barricaded the door behind them. After a tense exchange of introductions, explanations, and apologies, Dameron knelt before Narja and swore his allegiance. He pledged an oath to protect Duchess Lauren with his life. Dameron was now a vassal of the Duchess, and she, his liege lady. The first thing he said they had to do was come up with a full alternate identity for her. For there were rumors already going around about a member of House Lauren surviving the massacre. And it was not yet time for the Lady Narja to reveal her claim to the Duchy of Lauren. When the company rejoined them, Dameron rendered judgment as the master of the fold. Ravenna Rankin he deemed a sincere, devoted friend to Narja, burdened by a curse and capable of secrecy. Though her condition warranted watchfulness, she could be trusted, for now. Guthrie Vause he judged a dangerous zealot, yet trustworthy in his honesty, a man who openly defied the church, and the gods would not lie about his convictions. Jethro, however, unsettled him deeply. Dameron claimed Jethro was not a man like other men who had the light and the shadow mixing and intermingling within them. Jethro, Dameron claimed, was more like two beings, pure light and pure shadow, coexisting without blending. He could not say which would prevail. He trusted neither. Jethro demanded proof. None was given. In the aftermath, Lucian Skyhorn offered his reward, the coin taken from fallen cultists, a mariner's coin from his own treasury for each company member, bearing an ancient protective blessing, and his eternal gratitude, along with the promise of welcome in all Skyhorn lands. As sailors began repairing their ships, and Lucian resealed the dungeon of the Nanwo Rovaya, the company took a final short rest. With Skyhorn secured and the seas beginning to calm, there were many paths ahead, but the important question is, what does the adventuring company decide to do now?